Hello and welcome back to Hill and Ponton's YouTube channel. I'm attorney Allison Reddick.
And I'm attorney Rachel Cheek. And today we're going to be talking about chemotherapy or radiation treatments as a cause of neuropathy.
So this is something that is often overlooked and happens in a significant amount of cases where you've had some kind of cancer and you've needed chemotherapy or radiation for your treatment. And one of the side effects of that chemotherapy or radiation is the development of peripheral neuropathy. So some of the cancers that are commonly associated with chemotherapy and radiation, number one is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the one we probably see the most.
So, for example, prostate cancer can be treated with radiation. While the radiation helps treat the cancer, it also can cause damaging effects to your body. You're blasting it with these rays, strong enough to kill cancer, often has effects on your healthy cells as well.
Other areas that can use radiation would be head and neck cancers, breast cancer, cervical cancer, and cancers of the eye. And then you have chemotherapy, where you're literally putting these toxic chemicals into your body to shrink the cancer, but it has negative effects on your
Nervous system.
on your nervous system. And so some of the cancers that you commonly see for chemotherapy would be lung cancer, which is a big one, breast cancer, obviously, and ovarian cancer. And so what happens, whether it be the rays or the toxic chemicals, they affect your nervous system and you start experiencing numbness and tingling in your fingers, numbness and tingling in your feet, and it slowly progresses up into your up into your arms and up into your legs, and can cause pretty severe pain. So a lot of times when people think about pain in the extremities, they either think of diabetes, peripheral neuropathy secondary to diabetes, or radiculopathy, which would be secondary to a cervical neck injury or a lumbar or lumbosacral injury. And so when VA sees that you're applying for peripheral neuropathy and you don't have one of those common causes, they often overlook if you had some type of cancer and chemotherapy or radiation was needed. This is one where you're probably going to need an independent medical opinion. I did have a veteran who, and it's probably not going to be granted at the regional office. Unfortunately, with these less commonly claimed conditions, they usually have to go to the board. So I had a veteran who had prostate cancer. He had radiation, 30 treatments, and he started developing that peripheral neuropathy. No other risk factors for developing peripheral neuropathy. We got a independent medical opinion, went up to the board, and the board granted it. So it's important to think about if you have peripheral neuropathy and you have a history of cancer.
One thing we should say is, of course, that cancer has to be service connected.
Yes.
And so you need to show that the cancer developed from service in some way, some exposure that you had. And something Allison's absolutely right. If your cancer maybe is no longer active, like you had treatment for your prostate cancer, you don't have any symptoms of it, but you continue to have the peripheral neuropathy, that's something where you would want to call attention to the fact, hey, I'm service connected for this condition. You can see in my records I was treated for it. You need to consider peripheral neuropathy as a cause. Absolutely. Probably will need a doctor to say that as well.
And starting from the beginning is, how can you get your cancer service connected? What kind of cancers are caused by your service? And a lot of the times it's going to be due to your duties, or where you are, if you had toxic exposures, or if you were exposed to Agent Orange. Those are the three big ones. So if you served in Southwest Asia, PACT Act covers a multitude of cancers because of the burn pits and the oil well fires. For duties, if you were a mechanic or someone that was involved with chemicals or you're on a Navy ship and you have to do that grunt work at the beginning where you're chipping off lead-based paint,
Mm-hmm.
or you are sleeping in these bays with asbestos exposure. These are all different ways that you can get service connected for your cancer. Then once you're service connected for the cancer, the peripheral neuropathy is a secondary service connected condition.
And so that's an avenue that's often overlooked, but something always to consider: secondary service connection.